Yeah. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Kim Wilpon Crafts. Yes. I don't know why we just went full Liza there. Hi, I'm Kim Wilpon. I'm a crafter, and I'm a knitter, and I'm an actor, and I'm a singer, and I'm a dancer, and I'll do a lot of things. But hi, you have found me in a rare state today. We're having a blizzard here in New York, and I'm doing this. Isn't it great? So today, we will be talking about my Marshland sweater. Take it in, sip it in. Yes. I really love this sweater. This is the Marshland Sweater by Tin Can Knits. I knit this with universal yarn, which is a DK weight yarn. I knit it in colorways: raspberry, starfish, ginseng, greenery, turquoise rustic. I think that's it. There's five colors? 5 colors. Yay! It's 100% wool, 220 yards per skein. And I have of the raspberry, which is the main color. I think I have about like 2.5 skeins left in total. And about half skein each of all the color work except for the blue. For some reason that seems to be the one that I have a little bit less of than the other colors. I don't feel like there's like that much more blue. I feel like I probably used, I don't know, maybe. So I have knit this sweater before. I knit a version of this for my husband for the holidays. It was the first time I've ever knitted my husband a sweater. And it turned out a little bit wonkadoodly, and I learned a lot of things along the way that I brought into this, and so I like the fit of this so much more. I went down a full needle size for this yarn in particular. I'm a loose knitter, and so I just started doing this with all my knits. If I see a size, I just go down a needle size, and I find that my gauge is just so much more on point. That's me. That's what I need to do. Also, there was just something wrong with how I was carrying my yarn for the color work, and one of my goals for this year was to work on my color work. And I do feel like because I did that sweater for him, I learned about how to improve it for this. And even still, I took a class with Vogue Knitting Live, and I found that even though it was a class on steeking, I still learned a lot about color work. And so I brought a lot of the things that I learned from that into this, and I feel like my color work's just more relaxed, and I don't have as much like puckering as I normally did. Even before blocking, I felt like it just draped really nicely, and I kept not understanding why my color work was never turning out like other people's color work. The way that the instructor put it was like the light color and the dark color, but just like the color you want to be more dominant has to be on the left, and the color that is like your less dominant is on the right. And so I chose very strategically which colors were going to be my dominant and which colors were not. And I think that really made a difference. Also, like how even the stitches are, just all the way through. It just makes me really happy, and I'm really excited to wear this one. I also wasn't sure about the colors, even though you all helped me pick them. They were still really bright colors. I just thought, I don't know, maybe these colors were gonna be too bright for me. And really, I think because they're well within my color palette, it doesn't like upstage me and my presence. And like, even though yellow's not a dominant color for me, or this like yellowy green, they're not the dominant colors of the sweater. It's really like the cool tones are more dominant in this. So it looks good. And also the yellow is like not directly up against my skin. Let's talk about some of the highlights of this pattern. So the Marshland by Tin Can Knits, I believe, is very size inclusive, gender inclusive, and age inclusive. And I think that is great. I think that's wonderful. Though it is on the Ravelry page, it is clearly marketed towards men. But I think this looks fabulous, and you can't tell me nothing. I mean, you can tell me a lot of things. I mean, if you want to, just leave it in the comments, and maybe I'll respond. I probably will at some point. I'm pretty decent about responding, even just to say thanks, because people are really nice as of right now. The construction of the increases is like simple enough. It's nothing crazy. They just make one right like throughout the top up here. They're sort of interspersed in the colorwork, so you don't even really see them. It's a simple construction. And I do think that the colorwork pattern, I don't think for the size that I made, for the woman's size that I made, I don't think that it ever goes more than 6 stitches. It's a 6-stitch pattern, so it just repeats those 6 stitches. It's easy and nice to memorize. And when I do colorwork, sometimes I find it tricky when I'm doing something that's like 20 stitches within the pattern. Like, I really loved my alpine bloom hat, but I will say that pattern was a bit of a pita, if you know what I'm saying. Because it was about like 20 stitches, I think, for the pattern itself, and that's not easy to memorize. But a 6-stitch like this was really easy, but also it made it more fun. Because then it was less brain work for me and more of just like knit. And obviously there's no like texture in this except for the ribbing. So it's just a simple stockinette sweater with color work, which again is stunning and beautiful, and I'm obsessed. But I just wanted to share that aspect. I really would recommend this, but here are some little notes that I had throughout. For the women's size, I did this in a size 5. I don't think I said that yet. Yeah, the 5th size, because again, size inclusive, gender inclusive, age inclusive. That means you can make the one for like your whole family, which is delightful. But for this size, for some reason, there were like a gazillion decreases in the sleeve. And I am 5'3", 3/4, and I don't have super long limbs. I don't think that I have super short limbs, but I don't have a massive wingspan. That meant that there was more color that could have been done right before the ribbing on the wrist, but I would have had to stop the color work way earlier than the decreases wanted me to. So if I did this again in the size, I would just make the decreases go a little faster, I guess. I don't really know. But in this size, I couldn't get that color work. And I really did want it on the wrist. I did not want it on the bottom. I felt like it would just have to go from immediately the color work ending to starting the next round of color work. And I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to leave that as it was. And also I felt like in the pattern, when I was looking at other people's finished projects, the ones that had the color work on the bottom of the body, it just didn't look flattering to me. And I felt like the solid actually just makes it like a little bit more flattering. That's my opinion. That is my preference. And you do what's best for you and your body and your person. And if you're knitting this as a gift, it's good for you. I mean, I knit one for my husband, and I think I'll probably do another one for him because I don't like how his fits him. And I just had him try on this one because I suspect this one would be the right size for him, and it turns out to be 100% accurate. And I love this yarn for this pattern, so I think the marriage of it is perfect. And the yarn's like not super expensive. That's Universal Yarns. The Universal Yarns, I love their colors. The one thing that I was a little bit nervous about, and I wasn't nervous with Dolan's when I blocked his because the colors were darker. And sometimes I've had this issue with like pinks in particular, is that they bleed sometimes when you block them. And I was nervous, and I should have made a swatch for this, but I hate swatching. And honestly, most of my problems that I'm talking about now, from doing Dolan's sweater to mine, it all could have been solved ahead of time. And I wouldn't have the growing pains that I've had to go through if I had just done a gauge swatch. But again, I don't think I'm the only one in this category. It won't be me. The one thing about this yarn though, because it is 100% wool, it does feel a little itchy sometimes, but it's really warm, and because it's double knit, very Icelandic knit, you can sort of see obviously I'm wearing a turtleneck. It's warm. It's like very, very, I don't know why I'm doing it this way. I'll just take it off. This is what it looks like on the inside. But it's essentially double knit all the way through, so it is really warm. But because it's 100% wool, sometimes it is a little bit itchy if you don't have another layer underneath. It's really cold right now, so this is like the perfect thing to wear, especially for this week. I'm actually excited to wear this out. I probably will wear it to an audition. Actually, I think I have an audition next week that I kind of want to wear this specific outfit to, because I think it is a really good look for it. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, because it can be a little itchy, I just think a layer underneath is always... To sum up the universal yarn, it is some of my favorite yarn to do color work with. And in fact, I love knitting Dolan sweater so much in the universal yarn, I ordered more from their website to make mine because I loved it so much. And I'll probably buy more, honestly, because it's a really good price for what it is, and it's good quality, and it hasn't done me dirty yet. What more could you ask for? And also solid colors, hard to come by sometimes. So this is my Marshland, and I'll do a quick little modeling, and then, yeah, I mean, you've been looking at it this whole time. I just really love this. Also, I wanted to mention that when you separate for sleeves, it stops the color work. So you do have to pick up the color work from like here down, and obviously here down. But I think it's really beautiful. And honestly, right up here is the only place where I didn't know how to do the color work. So up here is where I think the color work's the weakest. And then here down, it's super strong. But I'm really proud of this one. Actually, when I put this on, I don't know if, I think I was saying it in a past video, that sometimes I put things on and show my husband, and I like parade around what to do, and he goes, you know, oh, it's so nice, or oh, that's so sweet, you know, he's always like such a good supporter. But this one I put on and he was like, that is your best work yet. High praise for my husband, because that man never lies. He doesn't know how to. And I'm grateful for that. This is my Marshland by Tin Can Knits. I'm super happy with how this turned out. I'm so excited to get to wear this. This is so far my favorite knit of 2026. Let's see if we can beat it. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, send me a little comment down below. Say hi. Tell me what you're working on. I'd love to hear it. Like, comment, subscribe. See you all in the next one. Bye! Bonus!
Bonus!
So this is my husband wearing his Marshland, and I just wanted to point out some of the things that I was sort of talking about.
Oops.
Is that his armpit is here, but it's too long. So that's why for mine I went down a needle size because it was too long. And also for the men's, it is more stitches. It's I think 8 stitches per pattern, which just makes it so much bigger and broader. But my husband is a petite short king.
I'm a widow boy.
So he doesn't need something super wide. And in fact, I think I mentioned this earlier, he put on mine and was like, yeah, that fits so much better. Also, I would do the length just a little bit longer for him also. Yeah. But I think all in all, it's really nice. I'm seeing so many mistakes on it now, though, that make me like...
There's a little dot here.
No, don't point them out. Don't point them out. I was really proud of this when I finished it, and now I'm like, not shamed, but I'm not as proud.
It was a learning experience.
But, yeah, and the sleeves are...
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah, this is so much better. But this little bit of color work is just, it's longer than it says in the pattern. No matter how you slice the dice.
Still looks nice.
It does still look nice, and you do wear it a lot, which I'm happy about. And also, I think my stitches are like way more even, like up here. I like your collar more than mine, though.
Oh, thanks. I made it myself.
Yeah, you wish.
Well, thank you for joining my show. Like, comment, subscribe.
Bye!